It's 2:07 in the morning. The room is dark. The house is silent. And somehow, despite paying for the entire mattress, you're balancing on what feels like 6 inches of available space while your dog stretches across the remaining 80% like they personally signed the lease. One paw is pressed against your leg. Their breathing is slow and steady. Every now and then they twitch, chasing something through a dream you'll never see. Most people look at this scene and assume it's simple: warmth, comfort, habit, maybe even clinginess. But neuroscience tells a very different story. Your dog isn't sleeping beside you because they forgot where their own bed is. They aren't there by accident. The decision to sleep next to you is the result of thousands of years of evolution, powerful neurochemical systems, and one of the deepest cross-species relationships ever documented. In fact, the reason your dog chooses your bed may reveal something extraordinary about how they see you. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest spent years studying the bond between dogs and humans, and what they discovered challenged long-held assumptions about pet behavior. Instead of treating dogs like domesticated animals with simple attachment patterns, they applied a framework originally designed for human children. The method was based on psychologist Mary Ainsworth's strange situation test, one of the most influential tools ever developed for understanding attachment between infants and their mothers. The results were striking. Dogs displayed the same core behaviors seen in securely attached human children. They sought proximity to their owners. They showed distress when separated, and when reunited, they became calm and emotionally regulated. Even more remarkable, researchers found that approximately 61% of dogs fell into the securely attached category. That is essentially the same percentage consistently observed in human toddlers. Think about what that means. When your dog curls up against you at night, they are not simply seeking a warm body. They are acting on an attachment system that mirrors one of the most fundamental emotional bonds in human life. Deep inside their brain, your presence represents safety, predictability, security. You are the place where uncertainty ends. Out of every location in your home, every blanket, every quiet corner and comfortable cushion, your dog voluntarily chooses the space closest to you. Not because you are convenient, because, from their perspective, you are the safest thing in their world. And once you understand what happens inside the brain during that relationship, the story becomes even more profound. A study published in the journal Science, alongside work from Izabu University in Japan, revealed one of the most powerful biological feedback loops ever observed between two species. At the center of it is oxytocin, often called the bonding molecule. The process begins with a glance. Your dog looks at you. As they maintain eye contact, your brain responds by releasing oxytocin. That chemical creates feelings of trust, affection, and emotional closeness. Naturally, you look back. And when you do, your dog's brain releases even more oxytocin in response. The cycle feeds itself. Look, bond. Look again. Bond more deeply. This isn't poetry. It's measurable biology. Scientists tested whether the same thing occurred between humans and wolves. After all, wolves are the ancestors of modern dogs. Some of the wolves in these studies had been raised by humans from birth. They were familiar with people, comfortable around people, yet the oxytocin loop never fully activated. The dogs triggered it, the wolves didn't. Somewhere across thousands of years of evolution, dogs developed a unique biological mechanism designed specifically for connecting with humans. Their brains became tuned to us in ways no other animal has achieved, and the effects don't stop with eye contact. Research shows that as little as 10 minutes of positive physical contact can significantly reduce cortisol, the primary stress hormone in both dogs and humans. As stress levels fall, heart rate slows, muscles relax, breathing deepens. The body begins preparing itself for restorative sleep. So when your dog settles against your side before bed, something larger than comfort is taking place. Two nervous systems are quietly helping regulate each other. Long before either of you drift off to sleep, your bodies are already communicating. To understand why that communication exists at all, you have to travel back long before houses, cities, and written language. Imagine a cold night 15,000 years ago. Electricity, no walls, no locked doors, just a flickering. Fire surrounded by a small group of humans trying to survive until sunrise. Beyond the reach of the flames, shadows move. Among those shadows are wolves. Most remain distant, cautious, wild, but some linger closer. Generation after generation, Certain wolves become more tolerant of human presence. The least fearful animals gain access to food scraps and protection. The most cooperative survive. Their offspring inherit those traits. A relationship begins to form. One archaeological discovery captures this transformation with heartbreaking clarity. At a burial site in Germany dating back roughly 14,000 years, researchers found the remains of a young dog buried alongside humans. Analysis revealed that the animal had suffered from canine distemper, a severe illness that would have required intensive care to survive. For approximately 5 weeks, someone kept that dog alive. They fed it, protected it, stayed with it. Without human intervention, the animal would have died. Think about that for a moment. Thousands of years before modern medicine, before agriculture transformed civilization, humans were already investing enormous effort into preserving the life of a sick dog. That wasn't ownership. That was attachment. And over time, biology itself began changing. Modern genetic research points toward alterations on chromosome 6, associated with extreme social behavior in dogs. These genetic variations influence how dogs process social information and respond to human interaction. Wolves do not possess these changes in the same way. Humans didn't simply domesticate dogs. We helped shape a species whose brains became dependent on meaningful human connection. The desire to sleep beside you is not a random behavior. It is the expression of a relationship written into their DNA. Yet there is a strange contradiction hiding inside all of this. Objectively speaking, dogs are not always ideal sleeping partners. Research associated with the Mayo Clinic has shown that dogs can disrupt human sleep cycles. They move, they stretch, they change positions. Some snore with astonishing confidence. Others wake up to investigate sounds that only they can hear. And yet, despite these interruptions, many dog owners consistently report feeling better when their dog sleeps nearby. A 2024 study from the University of Jyväskylä in Finland helped explain why. The answer may lie in something called heart rate variability, often abbreviated as HRV. This measurement reflects how effectively the nervous system adapts and regulates itself. When bonded individuals rest together, their physiological rhythms can begin synchronizing. In dogs and humans, this synchronization appears particularly powerful. Heart rhythms, breathing patterns, and stress responses begin aligning. Your dog is not merely lying beside you. Their nervous system is quietly matching itself to yours. The result is a subtle sense of safety that the brain recognizes even while asleep. Interestingly, an unfamiliar person sharing your bed does not create the same effect. The synchronization depends on trust, history, emotional attachment. Only a bonded dog can trigger that specific pattern, which makes one particular change especially important to notice. If your dog has always slept beside you and suddenly stops, pay attention, not with panic, with care. One of the earliest signs of physical discomfort in dogs is a reluctance to jump onto furniture or beds. Arthritis often develops gradually. Joint deterioration can begin long before obvious limping appears. A dog that once launched onto the mattress without hesitation may quietly start choosing the floor because climbing has become painful. Many owners miss this signal because the change happens slowly. Your dog may not cry out, they may not complain, they simply stop coming. There's another possibility that deserves equal attention. As dogs age, cognitive decline becomes increasingly common. Studies suggest that approximately 35% of dogs over 8 years old develop canine cognitive dysfunction, sometimes called dog dementia. The condition can disrupt sleep patterns, alter routines, and interfere with spatial memory. A dog that suddenly seems confused at night, wanders aimlessly, or abandons long-established sleeping habits may be experiencing neurological changes that require veterinary evaluation. The key point is simple. If your dog's sleeping behavior changes dramatically, it is rarely meaningless. Their behavior is communication. Sometimes it is saying, "I trust you." Sometimes it is saying, "I need help," and both messages deserve your attention. Which brings us back to that dark bedroom at 2 a.m, back to the edge of the mattress, back to the dog somehow occupying more space than seems physically possible. You see that picture differently now. Your dog didn't end up there because it was convenient. They didn't choose you because your bed happened to be nearby. They chose you because thousands of years of evolution, attachment biology, neurochemistry, and shared history all pointed them in the same direction. Out of every person they could trust, out of every scent they could follow, out of every place they could sleep, they picked you, tonight. While they're curled against your side, remember that you're witnessing one of the most successful emotional partnerships nature has ever produced. Drop a comment below and tell me, what percentage of the bed does your dog take up tonight? And if you think sleeping beside you is the strongest sign of trust your dog can show, wait until you discover what is happening inside their brain when they stare directly into your eyes. The neuroscience behind that behavior reveals a connection even deeper than the one that keeps them beside you while you sleep.